In this video, I'm going to show you how to safety wire your motorcycle's brake lines. Since I don't think brake lines is the first thing someone learns how to safety wire, I'm going to assume that you already know the basics of how to safety wire parts on your motorcycle. Therefore, in this video, we're not going to cover the basics. Instead, I'm going to jump straight into the specifics of how to safety wire your motorcycle's banjo bolts. Now, just like any other bolt you would choose to safety wire, you're going to have to drill a hole through the head of the bolt to attach the wire. The banjo bolts on your motorcycle are hollow, and that's how they carry your brake fluid through them. But there's no reason you can't drill through the head of these bolts. You can check this for yourself by inserting something through the hollow passage and measure to see where the hollow space stops. You can see here in my demonstration, the hollow passage stops well before the head of the bolt where we'll be drilling, so no reason you can't drill right through it. Now you'll have two options for drilling the head. You can do this with the bolt on the bike already installed, or you can choose to do this with the bolt off the bike. It's probably the best option for most of you, but there are pros and cons to each. For example, if you choose to drill it with the bolt already on the bike, you'll know the exact position the bolt head is going to be when it's torqued down, so that you only have to drill one hole. And of course, you don't have to remove your brake lines if you're choosing to do this after they've already been installed. However, there is more risk of damage if you make a mistake, and you might not even have room to fit your drill. So if you have to drill the bolt with it off the bike, since you won't know the exact position the head will be once torqued down, I'd recommend drilling multiple holes like shown here, so that no matter where it lands when it's torqued, you'll have a hole usable for safety wire. The next thing to consider is what to attach the other end of the safety wire to. A lot of people will attach it to the end of the brake line, like shown here. However, I don't prefer this method, because if there's nothing stopping your brake line from rotating counterclockwise along with the bolt, the two could rotate together, and doing it this way wouldn't stop anything. That's why I prefer to do it this way shown here, attaching it to a fixed object, like this tab on my master cylinder. However, if you have tabs that prevent the brake line from rotating left or right, or you don't have an excessive amount of slack in your brake lines, I'd say either way is acceptable. To drill a hole in your banjo bolt with it off the bike, you're going to need a way to hold the bolt while you drill it. Obviously, you can't grab the threads, but you can put the head of the bolt in a vise, like shown here. Another idea I came up with is if you have a couple of nuts that are the same threads as your banjo bolt, you can thread those onto the bolt and use those to grab with your vise. This does work a little better and gives you much more access for drilling holes in the banjo bolt. Now, if you don't have a vise, don't worry, I've got an idea to help you out. Find yourself a drill bit the exact same size as your banjo bolt, and drill a hole in a piece of scrap wood. This will give you something to insert the banjo bolt into to hold it still while you drill out the head. This way worked best for me, so that's what we're going with. To get started, use a punch to put an indent in the head of the bolt where you intend to drill. That way it helps get the drill bit started. Since we don't know where the bolt head will be positioned once tightened down, I'm going to drill 2 more holes. That way, no matter where it ends up once it's tightened, we should have a usable hole to correctly safety wire this banjo bolt. Taking out the banjo bolt with it already on the bike is really no different. Of course, be careful not to let your drill slip and damage your bike. I'm going to attach the safety wire to this tab on my master cylinder, so for me, I'm going to have to drill that out too. You wire your banjo bolt like any other bolt, tethering it in the direction that prevents it from loosening. But take extra care to make sure that your safety wire is very tight for banjo bolts. There's a lot of pressure inside your brake lines, and the bolt loosening even a little bit could cause a leak. So definitely don't leave any slack if you can help it. For my rear brake line, I'll demonstrate what it looks like if you choose to safety wire the banjo bolt directly to the brake line. There you go. That's all there is to it. I hope this video was helpful. Thanks for watching.